Welcome back to the 716 Sports Podcast, recording here on what truly feels like a monumental moment in Buffalo sports. Ladies and gentlemen, after 438 games, after over 5.5 years on your calendars, the Buffalo Sabres have a winning record for the first time since January of 2013. Just think back to where you were in January 2013. How many things in your life have happened since the Buffalo Sabres came out of that lockout-shortened season and strung together a 2-1 record before falling into oblivion for yet another pointless season? Casey Mittelstadt was in high school. Jack Eichel was not a Sabre yet.
Mittelstadt might not have been in high school yet.
Yes, Mittelstadt might have been in grammar school still.
Correct.
I just started dating my wife.
Woohoo! The technological capability. Truly a celebration here, and not just that does. The Sabres win 2 games in a weekend, bookending a Buffalo Bills victory in what is truly the most exciting of games in the sport of football, a 13-12 victory over the vaunted Tennessee Titans offense. Just what a great time to be alive, and what a great time to be bringing you here, the 716 Sports Podcast. All 5 of us here in the room today just cannot contain our joy for what we witnessed yesterday on the football field.
I'm Mike. It was a big weekend, I should say, for Buffalo sports. That's all I got right now. Nick, what do you got?
Wow.
We all were hanging on your every word.
Wow.
That was
I was
deep.
like waiting.
Puppets on a string.
I just wanted to play you all like a fiddle. Call me Charlie Daniels.
And you did.
Boom. Sabres are no longer suffering. 2-1. Probably going to win the Stanley Cup. Pretty
Right.
cool.
Making strides.
So, people got a little testy on Thursday
That
night
was
when
me.
the team was booed off the ice.
I was there and I was booing, and I don't ever boo, and I was booing.
Don't have any problem with that because
It was awful.
It was a terrible game. It wasn't even just that they were losing; it was the method in which they were losing.
it was
that game.
losing to the team that lost 7-0 on the road and was playing
the night before
second-
on a back-to-back.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
frustrating.
can't forget, Bill.
Overreacting.
You cannot forget that Yarrow Halak was in goal.
Sabres legend.
And that enough should have
Yarrow
made us know
Halak
that
down.
that game was going to go that
He
way.
played a really good game.
Yeah, he's
The
good.
Sabres had some grade A chances, and he stuffed them.
Right. Some days you just run into a hot goalie.
The 6 minutes into the game, he made it a phenomenal save on
The
Rodriguez.
Sabres
like
had
I
a
always
6-on-3 power play and got scored on. Let's be clear here.
Oh no, the Sabres deserved to lose that
They're
game, but
awful.
Halak also made a
Yeah.
couple really nice. Like the score should have been like 4-2.
But how many behind-the-back passes were there to no one or the other team?
It was a home opener. They're trying to
How
impress the
many were
crowd.
there? Because I'm
There
dead
was a good-
serious.
there's a good
Like
amount.
a dozen. I'm not kidding.
You were-
Even Casey Nelson behind his own net. Remember that play in the first period? Casey Nelson feels the need. He has the puck behind the net,
That was-
and he swoops out to the right, and then he does a no-look backhand pass behind his own net, and it feeds Pasternak on the back door of the other side of the net, and Hutton bailed him out. But
That's
I'm
a
like, what are
play
we doing?
defenders make
All the
20
time.
times a game. It just took he took a
Hit
bad
that bounce.
angle.
Yeah, it hit the
Like, it
boards,
came-
the cage, the boards, and that's
That he
why.
did the cage. It came right back out in front.
Yeah.
That was the one you and Chad were
He did
getting
it
on, right?
twice.
Yeah.
He did it again in the third period. And it bounced right back out in front to the other side of the
He
net
had a
this
rough
time.
game Thursday, Nelson. He did not. But there were so many guys that did. They were struggling to gain the line at the blue line because they would make that one extra move. We saw that at
Because they
the
were
UB
playing
game
a
too.
super trap, dude.
Yeah, that. Oh yeah.
They were notoriously
When Boston scored 6 minutes in, you watched the 1-3-1 trap in the neutral zone just set up.
They
immediately.
got shellacked 7-0. They're playing back-to-back
Yeah.
road games. And that's what road teams
Trying
do.
to grind
And
out
they're
that
they're
last 40
notorious-
minutes.
They're
Absolutely.
a notoriously good defensive team. And they went into a super defensive shell. And they made the Sabres look like shit due to it. And that's what everyone's freaked out about. The way they looked. But it was a game the Bruins played. And I said they got to come out in the Rangers game and score the first goal. And they got to make the other team chase them. If you're playing from in front, supposed to play in behind, it's a much different game, especially when you're at home, because that road team will lock it up the second they get ahead. It's the way the league
And
works.
boy, did they listen to you today. Not to skip the Rangers game, but you talk about getting the lead. Right, they're out 2-0 on 2 goals. Who scored them? I don't
Jack
remember.
Eichel.
Who?
Jack Eichelson.
Did he score both of them?
Jackson Eichel.
Jackson,
Both of them.
Yeah, okay, because he looked pretty damn good. But then they give one up, and 30 seconds later, I mean, it was a fluke play that Scandella just threw at the net. But Travis Yost tweeted at 2-1. He said the 2011 to 2017 Sabres lose this game. Let's see what they do when it was 2-1.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Scandella scores and that. But they despite being heavily outshot, they were never not in control of that game today. They played so well. My wife, who used to love hockey, who has fallen completely out of love with it because I can't blame her because she hates watching the Sabres, she watched the Pominville goal and she's like, that looks like the old Sabres. And she didn't mean because Pominville scored, because he was on the back door with his stick on the ice.
Such a great pass by
just,
Rodriguez.
Yeah, and just slammed it into the net. And that was JP Dumont all the time. When my wife was last a hockey fan, Dumont was always on the back door, just clapping in the backdoor pass, or Pominville or Hesh. They were just famous for Briere just being at the back door and hitting the 3-foot birdie putt on a great pass. And Eichel being all alone out front. Not only did he find that space in the slot by himself, God knows how, someone was able to pass him the fucking puck and found him.
Jack and Sam are looking.
Yeah.
The second goal, the second Sheary goal on Saturday against the Rangers, where Jack made the move to get around, the pass to Sam, the pass across to Sheary. That's the kind of passing that this team has been desperately lacking. That's the kind of playmaking this team has not had for a couple seasons. And that's why it's been so painful to watch this team. It was fun to watch the Sabres today.
Yeah, that first goal, too, passing. The backhand pass by Oposo. Risto catches it on the tape, sends it over on the tape, and probably my favorite goal in hockey, just a clapper that comes out of the net as fast as it went in.
I love how quick Sheary's trigger is on those plays, too. He is not waiting for anything. He is letting the bomb go the second it's on his
He
stick.
struggled today.
He did.
He had a rough
that breakaway he fell, I felt bad for him. Because he plays hard. I
He-
loved what you said, that Skinner and Sheary play hard every shift.
Yeah.
And they do, but he struggled.
There was one shift in that Boston game where he literally threw his body into somebody. Like, he made a move around him, but he wasn't going to let him pass him. He just literally dove into him to make the play and ended up causing turnover. But Thursday was frustrating for me because you were pissing me off, Steve.
I
just
don't
calm
care.
down. They ran into a team playing a perfect road game.
I paid a lot of money,
After
and
they
I know
got
that's.
that.
I paid a lot of money for this
I understand you were
tickets,
frustrated
and
for the product you got.
for weeks I was talking it up. I mean, as much as a sports fan as I am, and this is no dig on, I'm a professional sports writer too, and I can handle tempering. We call games. We don't stick up just for UB because I can temper that expectation and be a bit quote unquote professional, even if it's a team that I root for. And I was emotionally revved up for Thursday for weeks. I had trouble sleeping Wednesday night. You can judge me, but I hope you understand that feeling as sports fans. I had trouble sleeping Wednesday night because I was so ready for Thursday. And it felt like a stiff kick in the balls. Both balls at the same time. That's what it felt like.
I think that's half the issue Thursday. Everyone was so hyped up over it. And then it just done.
Well, we've been riding that feeling of that Dahlin pick to now. We've been waiting to see it. It was the Dahlin pick. It was re-signing. It was Samson. It was Jack changing the number, getting the captaincy. It was bringing in Skinner.
Sheary.
It was all these Sheary. Every move was every little thing looked like, okay, I like that. I think we as a group collectively as the offseason went on, okay, I can kind of see what they're trying to do here. And then you go through the preseason and Nylander looks better. Thompson makes the team.
Sabatka and Berglund are scoring.
And Berglund are here. I'm still not convinced, but they're looking to be. Berglund looked okay today. He had a nice screen on the goal that he was credited and got taken away and given back to Scandella. There's things to look forward to, and I think that's part of the feelings that we were already okay, what's the next chapter of Buffalo hockey going to look like? And it looked like the same old shit we'd seen the last 6 years, and that was part of why I think a lot of us were frustrated watching that Boston game, because it was just, there's nothing different here versus the same team that struggled last year.
Yeah, Thompson looked terrible in that first game.
He really did.
And then he looked better in the next game. And then today, he was playing great.
Yeah.
He was like a 6'5" ballerina out there. So sometimes you see some of his moves he made, a couple of the shifts. He's starting to find his confidence. He's starting to. He's 20. He's going to find his confidence. You see, Hutton's having a tough time with Middlestat. He's getting very little ice time. He had that one turnover where it caused a 3-0 in was it the Rangers game? No, I forget.
The Rangers game, and
I don't think it
Hutton
saw
bailed
the
him
ice
out.
in the third period.
Yeah, these guys are learning, and with Thompson, he's so big. It kind of reminds you a little bit of Tyler Myers coming up and trying to fit into his body and figuring things out. And Middlestat looks like he's going to be a little bit. He's not going to be the immediate fix that I think a lot of people were expecting, immediate top six, and that's okay. He's still got a lot of time to.
I thought he was one of
to build up. He's still probably, in terms of talent, one of the 6 best forwards. I just don't know if he's going to see the ice time like that.
I thought him and Reinhart were the 2 best players for the Sabres in the first game. Middlestat was showing some insane skill. His hands are so fun to watch. Silky smooth hands.
If you talk about the depth too, like we look at the top six, and not only is it mostly legitimized top six talent with Sheary and Skinner, but like the fourth line, it doesn't feel like a fourth line, and it not only like can it produce, it will. Like it sounds stupid, but like, oh yeah, those guys can dump and chase and really get some energy going. No, Pominville can score. Like before he came to Buffalo last year, which wasn't fair to him, he was one of the top 5-on-5 scorers in the NHL. Like the percentage of goals he scored in 5-on-5 time, or like goals scored per 5-on-5 minutes played, was like top 10 in the NHL. It's just crazy because he can score, and Gergensons has shown what he can do, and Rodriguez is legit to me as a bottom six center, and their depth scoring is there. And I know it's only been 3 games, but as much as Eichel did carry the load today, and Eichel and Sheary and Skinner are still going to have big roles, this fourth line, I think it matches up well with pretty much any fourth line in the NHL because it's talented. For once, their fourth line is not 3 schlubs they're putting out there. It's 3 talented guys.
No Cal O'Reilly, Luke Adam.
Yeah.
Rodriguez looks insane this year. He looks much faster.
You see him break up the pass on the penalty kill and take it the other way.
Yeah.
Picked it out of the air, tipped it out to himself, and created a 2-on-1 the other way. I'm like, that's filthy. Like, that's so good.
He's always flashed these levels of talent for me, and I've never understood why they don't just give him bigger minutes. Like maybe his role is truly that he can't take the top line matchups, but he's super good in what he is. But I think he's gonna really thrive, and he's looking like you mentioned. He just looks like he's come out of the gate with motivation to really go out and get it this year.
Whenever Sheary or Samson goes down, I want to see Rodriguez on Eichel's wing. I think they're fun to watch. They played a lot together in college. He's got the speed to stay with Eichel. He's got the creativity to play with Eichel. I just think I think it'll work out.
Also, I know we mentioned it very much in passing, but Jack's looked pretty great.
He looks like
games.
point plus a game. He looks like the guy that everybody kind of thought that he would be, and he's not hampered by injuries. He's not hampered by line mates that shouldn't be there at this point.
Yes.
He so far 4 points in 3 games. I think this is kind of what we were expecting, and you can very early, but you can easily envision that 80 to 85 point season coming because it looks like he's ready to go.
He's going to carry the team, and I like that he might not have to.
And he's
but
ready.
he might not have to. That's what I like.
He's ready to go.
I thought he looked a little enamored the first game. Like, I'm a captain of this team. And some opening night.
I think reality set in sometime in the locker room after the first game. It was like, okay, it's not just about wearing the C on the front. It's wearing the C.
But now, these past 2 games, whenever he gets the puck, he immediately slows the game down. And the second he's controlling everything, the second the puck's on the stick.
How great was that patient
It's
move
visible.
on the back end to beat Fleury today?
Oh, yeah.
That's a goal scorer's goal. It's like knowing when the goalie's going to make it, seeing Fleury go for the poke check, and just taking it away from him.
Now, a little bit of vanity here. My kid went to the game today with a friend, and he has his Jack Eichel jersey, but it's the Reebok and it's number 15. And it's like, well, I don't want to like update. I know what
you gotta hook up your kid.
I know.
Don't you love him?
I do, and I guess
He needs a new
buy
jersey.
him a 9 jersey.
Are we talking about Jack or his kid?
Jack.
Who does he love?
I go,
Jack
both.
or his kid?
I love them both, but I love the kid a little bit more.
Well, he is your first.
If he scores if he scores 85 points,
If
then
it was James,
but it's
whatever.
like, I mean, I don't know, like, it's not that you should be embarrassed by wearing a 15 jersey into the arena now, but when I used to do it, it would be like, well,
Have you
I always
never
wanted to have
worn an old
something-
jersey to the
I won't
arena before?
No, because
Oh,
I have a
you're not a-
Myers
you're
and
not
a
a jersey guy,
Stafford.
are you?
Not really.
You probably have
anymore.
slug jerseys, is probably what you had.
I had a Myers and I
Slug,
had
right? A slug?
No, Stafford slug.
Oh, okay,
Myers
that makes sense.
third at the time, and then the old with like the superfluous silver striping everywhere. But I don't know. I mean, it's different with I guess if you had a I don't know, like an Eichel USA or Boston,
Team North America.
the Team North America.
Yeah, or
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that one
Team
works.
North
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
There you go.
See,
One of those.
the one game I go to every year, I rock my
What is it?
Team
Morris
No,
Titanic.
my Tapanuman
Tapo.
jersey.
Oh, so I'm still
But
rocking
it was
my.
the third with the alternate. The A is the alternate on the shoulder.
I mean,
Tapo, his heart was too big. for his
Well,
body.
yeah,
Truly,
he
actually,
played
yes.
for 1 billion years.
He
but-
did. He was
Owner of the Montreal Stick
49.
Company too.
Was he really?
He still
I
is.
did
He
not-
owns the Montreal Stick Company.
I did not
There
know
you go.
I have a number 42 goat head Richard Schmelik jersey as my most recent Sabres
there you
jersey.
go.
Love
Yeah,
it.
you wore that when we went to Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the Miller. I have the Miller blue when they
Where'd
were
you
wearing
know?
it as the third.
Yep.
I have the Angry Goat with Marty Baron white, and then I currently have the Eichel black and orange Team North America.
That's going to be timeless, though. That's a
Oh, yeah,
classic.
for sure.
fired
all
up.
time.
Sure.
He'll never play for Team North America again because he's not one of the young guns anymore, even if they bring it back. So that's etched in stone.
And he now resides in Venezuela in the offseason. So that's
Right,
part
he
of it, too.
can't even play for Team North
People
America.
don't even talk about that, but proud South American. So the 4-game homestand concludes on Thursday, and then 5 in a row, West Coast United States. Got Arizona, Vegas, 3 Calis on that schedule. Very weird start to the season, isn't it?
They got to beat Colorado because that way the West Coast road swing almost is a free pass to me. If they go into this West Coast road swing, good grief, and they're 3-1, I have no issue if they come home 4-5. Because it's tough to play out there. And
I don't think Vegas and Arizona are that good.
I agree. Colorado
Vegas
is good, but I want
Colorado
them to
is
go out there
already.
3-1. I want them to go out there 3-1. That's what I
Colorado
mean.
is good, and there's still the weird kabuki that they have with the Sharks, where they seem to always win one of the games every year,
Yeah.
no matter what. So I don't
The
know.
Evander Kane revenge game.
It is, but I mean, it's just weird. You start off on a 4-game homestand, and then you're not home for 2 weeks. It's kind of a bizarre schedule, but
But if you believe in the
Sabres
locker
after
room
dark,
stuff,
yeah, true.
the West Coast road trip brings the locker room together, Bill. So it's going to be great. They're going to be great the rest of the season.
Is this the one the parents go on, or is that the later season road trip?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Usually a Florida one.
Dads love Glendale, Arizona.
So I've
This
heard.
is
Great golf, I hear.
Great golf. Well, they love to golf. I bet I could actually see them doing it in Vegas, right?
It would make sense to me.
Because
If Vegas and then Southern California
yeah,
and then Northern California.
yeah, I think that they may do it already. Get your dad, get him out there in the high desert. So we'll see where we sit here. This next recording will have the Colorado and the Arizona games as well, but so far a promising start to the Sabres season, I would say.
It's you don't know what the Rangers are yet. They're not a very good team probably, but
The Rangers are
and
garbage.
the Golden Knights are probably gonna go for that sophomore slump season. We don't know what they're
already
gonna
looking
be.
like
Golden
it.
Knights got pounded by Philly and Buffalo. Now they're not off
Yeah.
to a good start. Philly at home, like that vaunted, like supposedly hard to beat home ice advantage. 5 straight goals to the Flyers.
And when do they play Philly on Saturday?
They were the last Thursday.
Okay, Thursday. And do they have a game in between?
I don't remember.
Vegas has not won.
Just that traveling is really tough, and they played at literally like noon.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Noon Vegas time. You were
Right.
saying earlier. So.
But Vegas has not won in regulation since allowing Imagine Dragons to play on their home ice in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Just let the record show. They're radioactive right now. They can't even keep up with the puck.
Zing.
Boo.
They are 1-2, so they won a game in between those 2 games.
Okay. That's still.
I should know this because I
I
play fantasy hockey every day, and I don't know who they beat.
They beat Minnesota 2-1 in Minnesota
Didn't know
on
that.
Wait,
Saturday night.
So they played Philadelphia,
Philadelphia
Minnesota.
at home.
Philadelphia at home.
Philadelphia at home.
Yeah.
Traveled to
Minnesota.
Minnesota Saturday. Won
okay,
at Minnesota.
all right,
Traveled here today. Played the Sabres.
Okay.
I feel like Vegas's GM McPhee was in a pretty tough spot this offseason. Honestly,
Oh, I think
You
he had
got
to
the-
overpay for a lot of players
Well, I
that
mean,
had their
not-
career years last year because they
Not
were
even
mad
that.
their other team dumped them.
you have a team that came in and started this thing together, and they're such a close knit, tight knit group, and they went through the whole season. And it's almost like, do you want to break up that locker room chemistry? You just bring in a couple of big names because you got all that cap space.
It's hard for me to say that Vegas won't make the playoffs because I think they play in the worst division in hockey. But at the same time, are they better than any of the 3 California teams? I tend to say no. Maybe they're better than Anaheim. I don't think they're better than San Jose or LA.
Yeah, Anaheim's
San
without
Jose- San Jose should
Anaheim's
be
without
super good
Perry
this
for a
year.
long term,
Right.
And the Kings are without Jay Quick for a while.
Well,
now.
that is true with the Quick injury. So maybe
Good old
they could
Jake
figure
Quick.
something. Yes,
My favorite goaltender.
Jay Quick,
Jay
Jonathan
Quick.
Quick. Okay,
Do they have anybody who's a Kelly Fruity
right?
backup? Yeah.
I wish
He
Kelly
actually
Rude was still
retired
there.
from Hockey Night in Canada just to go back.
There-
Kelly
see? Exactly.
Fruity. No, they have Jake Campbell. His name is Jake, right? Jake Campbell
I
is.
have no idea.
And then they called up Peter Budaj from the Ontario Reign to be
I guess
They're-
teammate of Matt
Peter-
Molson.
correct.
Peter Budaj still doing it.
He's still
he's,
kicking.
He's now. They could very well play against Budaj in LA next Saturday, which would be a guaranteed win for the Kings because
Bring up Molson.
oh,
That'd be
Bring
fun.
him up.
I don't think that they own his
He's
rights.
already in the area.
They don't
Do
own
it.
his rights. Buffalo owns his rights still.
Do it. Sell him. Figure out a way.
You'd have to trade him to LA.
Do it, LA. Do it.
You
Do
can
it.
still call them up though, can't they?
Sabres can. LA cannot.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's still property of the Sabres, just playing for the Reign.
They should do like a
like that
psychological
awkward year
thing.
that we split a farm team with Florida.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Call him up Oh yeah, the Amerks split squad.
Yeah,
That was great.
the Panthers.
What if someone gets hurt in the road trip? They need a guy,
Right.
and Molson's
just
there.
sitting there.
He's
That'd
3
be
hours
pretty
away. He's
funny.
like, "Hey, Maddie, what you doing Saturday?"
Buddha, you're a piece of shit. You can just go up and just like sit in the press box and get paid and get that per diem.
Maybe
or whatever.
Molson will play goal because. Never mind.
Okay.
I already forgot it.
I'm very intrigued to see how they play against San Jose. That's gonna be fun to watch.
I want to get through Colorado first, just because Colorado isn't in. Colorado do they have the best top line in hockey? Because if you look at
No.
other superstars, you know,
Toronto might have something to say.
but Zach Hyman's on that line. Like Zach Hyman is on
Washington has the best top line in hockey.
Okay.
Brett
Oh.
Connolly. It's Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, and then it's either Tom Wilson or Brett
Nicholas
Connolly.
Backstrom.
No, Backstrom centers the second line with Oshie and Eller. Yeah,
Washington
I-
has the best second line in hockey.
But I'm just saying that Rantanen, Landeskog, and McKinnon are unbelievable. All three of them.
Sagan, Ben, and Radulov.
There's a good one. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's damn good. But ultimately, and then after that, it's like Kerfoot, Comfer. But my point is that first line could light you up for 5 goals and you lose because, I mean, they have Varlamov back there.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by that game. I had tickets to the Sabres Colorado game last year. Couldn't wait to go to see McKinnon against Eichel, and neither one played because they were both hurt. And I was so pissed. And that was the game that the Sabres gave up two first period shorthanded goals. So I was ready to just pound my fist through my eye socket.
Did you guys see the reading recently about how everyone's starting to become enamored again with how good Nikita Zadorov is?
Oh,
That's
cool.
really frustrating.
Neat.
He's been hurt though. He had a pretty serious back injury last year and
From
missed like the
carrying
whole
the
second
defense.
half of the year.
Alfredson,
They got,
Heatley, and Arnott
Eric
are a pretty
Johnson.
good top line
Yeah,
too.
that's good. It was Alfredson, Spezza, Heatley.
Whatever.
It was the Ash line.
So since we're on the 716 Sports podcast, what do you guys think about Dahlin so far?
He's
Super smooth with the puck,
He's a great puck handler, learning how to play at the speed of the NHL game.
chewing up minutes, not making mistakes.
he'll,
I think
figure it out.
He's a better defensively as each game has gone on.
Yeah.
He looks more confident in the defensive zone, like more. I don't know.
I think it's good that none of us had something to jump on Dahlin about because he hasn't made
Yeah.
a big mistake in any of the 3 games
Nelson
yet that's led
and
to a big
McCabe have.
chance or
There's
led to
been
a
no,
big
like,
goal.
give up
He's
around
been
under-
playing a lot of minutes. He's
Yeah.
been
He's a more aggressive. I
not
wanna say.
outstanding, but yeah, he's been solid. He's been
He made some real nice offensive plays in that Bruins game. He made a really nice skill play in a tight space at the point. He just kind of chipped the puck over some stick and kept on going, but he'll get there.
I love when he retreats to his own end to get a puck, and he looks over his shoulder and sees the guy there, and he cuts left and then just smoothly goes right, and they're in the spin cycle because he's so smooth. He sells it to the point where even he thinks he's going left, and he's just got one hand on the stick. And he just goes to the right and turns around, and the winger's dusted because he's just so smooth. He's a smoother skater than they are.
Makes it look, he makes it look
It's
pretty
effortless,
easy. Makes it
yeah.
look pretty easy.
He never was panicked. Like he's got a guy bearing down on him on the forecheck, and he's like, just turns the other way and fires it tape to tape.
Once he gains confidence, he's going to be filthy. You saw he's getting a little more ballsy in the Rangers game where
Yeah, he almost scored.
trying to rush a couple times, and you see him getting there. He's getting cheeky.
I haven't seen one slap shot from him from the point though, and I'm not saying he has
He doesn't.
to.
But he's got to get the puck through.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yep. But he hasn't really shot it from the point much at all. But he's also on the second power play. I don't think he's going to take Risto's spot on the top power play because Risto's pretty good at the point. His puck movement's solid.
He's very good at
He's
that.
also the right shot. So
Yeah. It's also great to have 2 different guys who can quarterback 2 power play units, though. We were talking today a little bit, I know, about how nice that power play unit looks. Jack looks so comfortable in that Alex Ovechkin kind of office at the left side half wall, just waiting for that puck to tee up. That top power play unit really, it makes a difference to have guys like that can go out there, and when the other team makes mistakes, if you want to be a good team, you have to make the other teams pay for their mistakes. And having a good power play unit that moves the puck like that, they seem to be moving the puck, even when they're not scoring, they're moving the puck on that power play so much more efficiently and doing a much better job of creating passing lanes and creating dangerous situations for opposing goaltenders.
No, looks just as comfortable as Jack at this spot as Samson Reinhart. He plays that right down the corner, right next to the net, on the same side as Jack, and he looks just smooth down there this season so far. He always does, but he makes that power play tick just as much as Eichel or Risto does. They're both you get the puck on this side of the ice, that puck's moving quick, man.
And Oposo looks healthy, and what I mean by that is he's not timid to go into the boards. He's not timid to forecheck.
It's
Like
quicker.
He has not been afraid to, when carrying the puck down the half wall and there's a defender there, to lean his shoulder into him and win the puck battle and then send it back to the point. He looks good. I like the puck on his stick. He's making good decisions with it, and I don't know. I like this Oposo better than what I liked last year.
I feel like every year we're waiting for Sam to come around after a really slow start, and this year he hasn't had the slow start. So I'm really encouraged to see where he goes from here, because the past couple seasons he's had a really slow start. We've thought about, like, okay, is this finally the year we move on from Sam Reinhart? Then he comes around. Is this year, if he's starting at this level, does he continue to have that kind of mid-season improvement where this could be the best Sam we've ever seen?
And what a bargain, team-friendly deal they have him on.
He looks like a number 2 pick right now.
Yeah.
He looks
For the first
great.
time ever, really, since that second half of last season where he really turned it on, he's looked like like you said, he looked like where he was picked.
We've
He's
talked
finally
about how
around to
that draft was not very deep. I mean, he's still got a lot of time to become one of the best players in that
Yeah,
draft.
well, it's so much different talking about the NHL draft versus talking about the NFL draft, because we talk about Josh Allen. Josh is expected to be a top flight NFL quarterback in
Right away.
2 to 3 years.
At
top.
number 7.
Yep.
Whereas if Sam Reinhart takes 5 years to develop, it's okay because Sam's still going to be 25.
Yep.
Yeah, was he 22 right now?
Yeah.
And I think coming out of the draft, I think he, out of all those top 5 picks, he's probably the most physically underdeveloped.
I don't know. Bennett couldn't do a pull up.
Bennett's pretty fucking
He's
strong.
strong.
though.
He's a big boy.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
We're not talking about one Sabre that needs a whole lot of love because he's been outstanding. Carter Hutton has been.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Very
been
Let's bring him
unreal.
up.
He has been asked to do a lot, especially against the Rangers today. Even though the shots were the Sabres had
Hey, they got
7,
massily outshot in that third period.
but it
he
didn't.
did a good job.
But none
keeping
of
Bennett.
them were great. Like they were. They had
Still.
some scoring chances. But like the Rangers game, the Sabres were pretty heavily outshot. But the shots that the Rangers were getting were not high quality. They weren't getting good looks. I mean, these are shots from the point that Carter's just looking into his crest. But the dude hasn't made a mistake. He's been so good, even in the Boston game. He got hung out to dry for the 3 goals, and the team in front of him played like shit. But he's been. I have not found a hole in his game. He's making the first and second save. He's not giving out rebounds. He's bailing them out. I don't know. He's been absolutely great.
I feel like we missed that moment in the last couple games, and I know Robin Leonard went out today and had a shutout and is supposedly in a much better place than he was going into last season, and hope that he continues in the footsteps of that story that he posted, continues to recover. But at some point in one of those first 3 games, I feel like the Robin Leonard goaltending situation we had last season, one of those pucks would have gone in, it would have completely changed the momentum of that third period. And we don't have that the last couple of games with Hutton. He's been very solid. Sometimes all you just have to do is stop the pucks you're expected to stop.
When
he
does
did that.
When does Ullmark play? Looking at the schedule, they have at least 1 day off between every game except LA and Anaheim. So does Ullmark see the net before that?
Plays against Vegas, probably.
You think so?
I would give him the net against Los Angeles in the afternoon. San Jose, late day game. Travel to LA. Next day game against Anaheim.
I could see him playing Arizona.
I feel like the way they just played against Vegas, they're confident putting Allmark in there.
If Hutton looks a little shaky against Colorado, I don't mind him playing in the Arizona game. Maybe give him 2 of the 5 out west. I like what you said. Arizona, Los Angeles, I think makes the most sense on the 13th and the 20th, especially if that
Like, for the same reason
day-night doubleheader
Yeah.
against Anaheim on the 21st.
Yeah. And the same reason you would feel confident playing Ullmark is the same reason I think you play Hutton again against Vegas, because he's seen all these shooters now, and he handled them very well.
He pwned him. Pwned noobs.
It's some mid-2000s Call of Duty
So
trash talk.
Yeah.
Teabagging. Yeah.
No, that's Halo, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's every
Hey,
video
Call of
game
Duty.
now.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I got teabagged in Fortnite earlier.
Repeatedly crouching.
I bet you did.
Relatable.
You're not good at. You're not good at
I have a
Yeah,
Black Ops
dude,
4
yes.
pre-ordered. I'm ready for that battle royale, so I don't have to build. I'm ready for Blackout, big time.
Are you gonna get it? You
I
have
already
PlayStation,
pre-ordered
right?
it. Yeah,
Is it
PS4.
video games you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Donkey Kong Country coming out soon.
Yeah, now you're
Last,
talking.
last time we closed on
Claymation.
Canadian Candy. Tonight we're gonna go on video games.
I didn't mean to bring us here. I just
I mean,
That's
aren't you guys
okay.
we're talking about something else. You talk about y'all's news from today.
Oh, that thing happened
Oh,
today.
God, I guess we should talk about that. Why don't you do it,
It
buddy?
sounds terrible. Like you're
No,
like
it's-
it's
No, this is
bad.
great
It's
news.
awesome. It's awful.
Bills-
I'm
beat
still,
the
I'm still, I'm
Titans.
still kind of relishing in it a little bit.
We're gonna develop so awkwardly and
Yeah, no, but so for those of you who follow us in multiple channels and may find us doing other things, we will be coming back for the Buffalo Buttes again this season. Officially, as of today, signed on for our 3rd full season, following that kind of half season where we just kept grinding at it and showing up to games and calling games on our own time just to try to develop the reel. But the Beats home opener is this Saturday, the 13th at 1:30 against Connecticut, who they just beat the tar out of at Terry Connors last weekend. So should be a fun game. That team is absolutely loaded to the gills.
It was 4-0, and it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, the shots were like 40-9 or something. It was absolutely dominated from whistle to whistle. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we are, in theory, about 2.5 months away from being part of the first ever NWHL game played at KeyBank Center when they host a doubleheader with the Sabres on December 29th. So a lot of fun things to come in the pipeline for us for the next few months with that.
Go Buttes.
Go Buttes.
Congratulations.
I know. I'm excited for you guys.
Yep,
Big
definitely.
time.
Big deal.
Somebody gets to fart in RJ's chair. It's good. That's Eric, right?
Eric
Didn't he say he was
already
gonna go first?
called it.
Yeah.
I gotta respect the dibs.
Yeah, there's a lot of farts in that, so I'm
Did he
sure
call
it smells
safety?
terrible.
I'll blitz him.
Well, you get the
You're gonna be
between the
racer
benches.
the
You get to be
benches.
Rob Ray for a day, buddy.
Oh, you get to be Pierre McGuire.
Yeah. But way more
You shave
creepy,
your head,
though.
though.
Make sure you know
Way more creepy.
where did everybody
How is
play
that
junior.
possible?
Where did everybody go to college?
We get awkwardly close and just...
We're just going to give you a bunch of index cards telling you where every player went to college. That's how you be Pierre.
Their hometowns, too.
Yeah, talk about the goal he scored there.
Saskatchewan, boy.
How are things back in Kelowna, British Columbia?
Brampton, Ontario, Miami University,
Nailed it.
Got him.
Pierre.
Peered.
Remember that time that Pierre McGuire was rumored to be the new Maple Leafs general manager? That was a great
And
time
the
in life.
Penguins,
And the
too,
Penguins general
wasn't he?
manager.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
He knows hockey.
I would love to see
Hey,
him
John Gruden's doing
GM a
it.
team just to see what he does. That'd be
Just
fun.
trades for Sidney Crosby no matter where he goes.
Like, that's not how this works, Pierre. The Penguins have to tell you that they don't want Sidney Crosby anymore.
It's like, no, I turned trade accepting off.
I know. That's right. I know where he went to junior.
Where he went to
It's like every single free agent negotiation
That's
is
the
like
phrase that they say over there.
where he went to-
TJ Oshie
Yeah.
from Michigan. How are you?
My friend who's a Maple Leafs fan put up a Bitmoji, that's frustrating in itself. But it was of a Maple Leafs fan dressed in PJs. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. All of you you lemmings.
What
that
social
immediately
media outlet
jump
was
up-
this on, by the way?
This was on
Twitch.
This was on Facebook.com.
Tout.
Tout. Yes, it was on Tout. Man,
Tout it out.
get your tout score up. No, it was on Facebook, and they're all. I mean, they're all in a good mood right now.
Mhm.
It should be some interesting battles downtown this year at that.
Do you see how many goals they've given up this year, though? Yeah,
oh
they
no,
won.
they're not good at defense. They just sort of skipped over
They've
that.
played 3 games and they've given up like 20 goals.
But they're going to outscore
They
you.
might. That's fun hockey, though.
That's
I like
their
it.
goal. They're just playing up and down.
Are the Blackhawks back?
Boy, that was the neat one there last night. Or yeah,
Alex
Sunday,
DeBrincat
Sunday
is
night.
gonna
I
be
Because
super
suppose.
Taves is
Yeah.
playing out of his skull, and if Corey Crawford ever gets healthy, are they back? Because they were shit last year.
I mean, they could be. Yeah, they missed the playoffs last year. They could be back. That division just it's such a challenge. Like, you can make a case basically for anybody in that division to win it and finish last. So, are they back? Not necessarily in capital letters are they back, but if this is the type of team and they're going to actually be able to put it in the net and get somewhat decent goaltending, then sure, they could be back. I don't think
they have two.
they're not going to be 110 points like they used to be, but
They have 2 bona fide lines with the Kane line and the Taves line, and as you said, DeBrincat's really good. They have Schmaltz and Saad on flanking or with Kane, but then like defensively, they have Yokiharu, who's looking pretty good. Ruta, who kind of burst onto the scene last year, and then of course Duncan Keith.
I think Yoki
Brendan
Haru
Seabrook.
wrestled Kenny Omega earlier.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, they I don't know. I felt like last year might have been the anomaly. It wasn't the end of the dynasty. It was a hiccup
No, I
in
tend
the
to
road.
agree with that. LA missed a playoff year as well in the middle of their thing. So everybody's due one bad year. If you get some injuries and bad luck, then you're kind of screwed over. So.
And right now, their goaltending is Cam Ward and
Cam Wad.
Forsberg got hurt, so I don't even know who their other goaltender is right now.
Peter's been retired for years.
Eddie Belfour,
Petter for
the Eagle.
That's right.
John Van
Young
Beesbrook.
Dominic Hasek.
Dominic Hasek.
Joe DiMaggio. I think
Mike
That's
Workload.
probably going to put a
that should just
Mike
about wrap it
Workload.
up.
put a cap on that one.
The Saints are just destroying
Breeze broke the yardage record
Washington
Yeah.
on
on a
Columbus
62-yard absolute bomb.
I'm done in fantasy this week. I needed Breeze to put up less than 20 points.
Man, do I have some bad news for you.
360, 3 touchdowns. And
He's
it's the
only
third
got
quarter.
34 so far.
Day. Is that
Yes.
good?
He could throw 10
Yahoo
consecutive
says I have a
interceptions.
1% chance of winning.
Hey,
So you're
It ain't over
saying
till it's
there's a
over.
chance.
if he throws 14 interceptions,
They'd
then
all have to be
consecutively,
pick sixes, too.
If only we had a fantasy football guru
We don't.
in the room.
We lack one.
We had one.
There
at
was one
point.
at Justin's wedding, but
Yeah, he was there.
he was there in the flesh. Great moment for him. And I saw him crying during the ceremony. I said, I know you get emotional during these things, but there's no reason to cry, Chuck. It's a beautiful moment. I know. He was really happy.
We didn't
for
have to
you.
name him.
Who?
We all know who the fantasy guru of this podcast is, Nick. That's not an unknown
Do
fact.
we?
The Gura.
We mention it about every other week,
Yeah.
even though he hasn't been here for 3 years.
I think it's been longer than
It
that.
might be.
You should get him on a show one.
When I started doing this podcast about like 3 or 4 years ago, he was still in the intro for like 2 years, and I hadn't met him for about a year and a half into it.
That's fine. And of course,
You should use that intro today.
Intros
Definitely do.
those aren't cheap intros, guys. I just stick with it. I just paid some money for it. I could use it. I'll use it.
No, you
De-
use the one with
definitely-
Chuck's name in it.
You know, definitely
will.
definitely
I
use
gotta
that for
find
this
it.
particular show.
I gotta find it though.
You need to use the one from last week. That ba 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 da da da.
I had to bring it back.
That's a
That's
classic.
a good one. I like that one.
the throwback. Make sure when Chuck's name's on, turn the volume up so we're all awake.
Just a
So all over.
shock.
Turn that to 11. All right.
I gotta go back and find it.
All right.
We'll see how bored
Well,
I
thanks
get
for
tonight.
listening, all of you who have made it this far into our rumblings.
Yeah, that's a long show.
That's
Why
a
the
long
hell did you
show.
stay this long? But whatever.
I don't
Hour
know,
and a half
man.
Last time.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, it was about
we
an
didn't
hour.
start till like 9:30.
Yeah, this is not
that's
longer
true.
than
because
usual.
Nick was late in
Yeah,
the last one
I was
here.
late. I was
Yeah,
late.
yeah,
And,
it's
great.
the last one here.
Nick was
Weird how
the
that
last
happens.
one here. It definitely wasn't me.
I like the shows where you guys call me.
Well, when
Can you call
when
me
we
real
call
quick?
you when we
So,
call you and
do
you
you
give
want
a
us to start
15
calling you
to
while
2
you're in the
score
room?
protection.
Nick, call me real quick.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Do I have your phone number?
Talk to you guys next
Actually,
week.
no, I'll call you on Google.
No, you're not going to call
I'm
me.
calling him.
You're going to call me right now?
Justin stopped recording 5 minutes ago.
Unfortunately for
recording.
those of us who are still listening, no, he didn't. We're still going. Still clocking around here.
Let's cut my mic here.
Oh yeah.
Because Justin's going to plug him into the
connected.
soundboard.
Can we please get your score prediction again, Bill, via the phone?
That's right, we didn't do that this week.
This could segue us right into
Gonna
it.
ring
That's
first,
loud.
Dick.
All right.
He's leaving the room.
Yeah. Well, I gotta give you the off. I'm gonna go sit with your wife on the couch. Hold on.
Heyo.
Don't talk to her.
All right. I won't say anything. All right. Well, this makes the show complete then that we're doing it this way. Hey, Leslie. Taking a phone call. You want to say hi to your husband real quick?
Is that Justin? Hi.
What's up, Leslie?
They're laughing at me.
No, don't laugh at her.
We're laughing at Bill, to be
Yeah,
fair.
we are laughing at Bill
Great. You
100%.
guys are so disrespectful. All right. Well, thanks to everyone for joining us on the show here tonight. And, of course, this week we're sponsored by Chefs.
What's your
Shit.
prediction for next week? Sunday.
Who are they playing?
The
Houston Oilers.
the Tennessee
Houston Oilers
Texans.
run and shoot. Kevin Gilbride's looking pretty good. Warren Moon had a great game last week against the Cleveland Browns, the original ones with the white face mask. I'm going to go. This is such a stupid game. Let's go Bills 13-12 again. Let's hope they just run off the whole series of 13-12.
Can you go ask Leslie her
And then-
prediction while you're out there?
What's that?
Go ask Leslie her prediction while we're out there. Put her
Oh,
on the
God,
phone.
I walked through the servants'
He's, like, right
quarters.
outside
Now
the door
I'm
right
way
now.
over here on the other side of the house. I can't get over there again.
Take 4 steps. You'll be all right.
All right. I'm not. She was very
Everyone
worried
listening is
because
slowly
we're
mapping
laughing
out
at it.
Justin's floor plan now.
No, I'm not going to do that because I'm
Okay.
going to go take a quick jump here in the indoor pool.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
What happened to the you said Chefs? I thought it was it
Rachel's Mediterranean.
Rachel's Mediterranean. What happened to that?
The sponsoring the travel packages this season.
Because we're sponsored by Chefs now.
Oh, it's Bill's score prediction sponsored by Chefs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. And I'm actually specifically sponsored by the takeout window at Chefs.
Not the food
Not
truck?
the actual restaurant.
Not
No,
the food truck either?
Nope. Just that window where you can order spaghetti to go. Pretty cool.
And wait in your car for 15
Delicious.
minutes.
Yep. Do you like sugar in your sauce? Come to Chefs. All right. I'm going to sign. Oh man, you have Girl Scout cookie Thin Mint cereal. I'm going to have a couple here while you guys take us home. Go ahead.
Jeff, where can you find us on social media?
You can find us on Facebook at 716 Sports Podcast, on Twitter at 716 Sport Podcast,
He'll hang up the phone.
on Instagram.
So good.
Because eat my cereal.
And on Instagram at 716 Sports Podcast. We're on Twitter. We're definitely super on Tout. We're on MySpace. We're on Friendster.
I can't
until they
believe
shut
it's
us down.
real.
We're going to be on Google Plus until they shut the website down this
On
week.
Friday.
On this Friday. You got 3 days to find us on Google Plus and get into our circle, fam. We're on ESPN Fantasy. Find us on FanDuel.
Tinder.
And thank you for listening. We're definitely on
Group.
Tinder, Grindr, and all assorted dating sites. Plenty of fish at 716 Sports Podcast. Good night, everyone.
Puzzle.